Got a great crew. I've got an excellent general manager, Mike Bronzini. I've got an excellent managerial crew, and then we've got two different sets of crews that we can work on all of your stuff. I got a group of guys that work on your house items. That's stuff inside, awnings, shades, microwaves, roof on a couple occasions, roof air, that kind of thing. And then we've got the chassis side, and those are guys who are doing the oil changes in your engine and a water pump and that sort of thing. So there's nothing that we don't cover at the shop. There's nothing that we can't help you with. My job here, honestly, my selfish job, the first thing I want to be honest is I'm here to earn your trust and hopefully get you to give us a chance back at Redlands to come see us for either some of your annual services or at least some of the upgrades that we'll talk about today, and I'll help you understand. The other thing that I can do for you is discuss our service center that we've got here in Quartzfest. So if you want tires, if you want shocks, if you want some of the stuff that I'm talking about today, we can actually do it here for almost all of what you guys have. So that's something that I want to make sure you know, and we'll be here through next Saturday. Has anybody been to my center in Redlands? Yep, and the Grove and the RV park and all that. That's good. That's good. You'll see a lot today. You'll learn a lot. Our chassis that we deal with on a regular basis, Ford F-53, that's a Class A. We deal with the E-Series, and we also deal with a Transit. That's like a Sprinter lookalike. And then we've also got the Ford trucks. For almost all of the applications, one of the greatest, the simplest, the best upgrades you can do is a Koni shock. The biggest difference is you're going to see in a larger vehicle, so yes, a Class A, a Class C, the F-550s, that kind of thing. This is where you're going to see a tremendous difference in ride comfort. One of the things a Koni shock will do for you is not only help you keep your coach under control, but it'll make it much quieter. This is an oil-filled shock. This is considered high technology. This is considered hydraulic shock. The other comparison is another good shock absorber, along with the same lifetime warranty, a Bilstein. Bilstein's a good shock. It's just older technology. It's harsh, it's gas charged. When you cut the green band on a Bilstein, it expands instantly, and then we put that underneath your coach. In us, on our RV, on our pickup, on our van, it ends up with a harsher ride with a gas-charged shock. And that's just the reality of it. The truth about a shock, what's its job? A shock absorber's job is to keep our tires in contact with the ground so that we have the shortest possible stopping distance in an emergency. And that's why they want you, that's why Gabriel went through all the big advertisement campaigns that, at 56,000 miles, they want you to put shocks on your vehicle because it's bouncing like this and it's no longer in contact with the road, and our stopping distance is going to be longer in an emergency. So yes, we want to have a shock that keeps our wheel on the ground, and that's exactly what the Koni does. Our Koni shock keeps our wheel on the ground, and when it sees a defect and it gets transmitted, transmitted just into the barrel. This thing's full of oil, and it gets absorbed right in this barrel, and it does not get transmitted into you. About an 80% ride comfort improvement just with Koni shocks. If your coach, your car, your pickup has 4 of them, we want to do 4. Some RVs have 6, others have 8. So if whatever they're equipped with, we want to replace them all at one time. Has anybody ever done Koni shocks or any of that? Yep. Wild difference. Am I on the right track? Yep, absolutely. $20, right? I promised you earlier. 20. I should have given you a ride. I saw you walking from clear over there. I love Koni shock. If I put Koni shocks on your pickup truck, your van, your Class C, your F-550, your F-53, it's one of those things you go, you know what, that kid was right. He told the truth, made a big difference. I'm glad I did it now and I didn't wait for many, many years. These are upgrades. I don't want to replace the shock because yours is defective. The truth is the shock, if you've got a Ford F-53, Class A coach, it's got Bilsteins on it and it's probably not going to be defective. I don't want to wait that long. I want to put something that's much better on so that you can enjoy it, especially if you're traveling. Any shock questions? Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, some of the roads in California, the truck lanes are really bad.
Yep.
With broken cement and everything. What's the longevity of these Koni shocks?
Great question. Thank you very much. It's a lifetime shock absorber. So if you have a problem with my shock, it's going to get replaced. And that would be a leak, a bushing, if it bends or whatever it might be. It's a lifetime shock. Yeah, it goes from vehicle, whoever's got the coach or car or pickup or whatever, absolutely, especially if I'm involved. And really what it comes down to is, hopefully if you're in our area, boom, you swing by, I take care of it. That's easy, simple, and away we go. I mean, if you're in Bangladesh or some other thing, we got to find a person that has one and, you know, make sure you get it. That's really the deal, is just they want to install it and send you on your way, and then we get an exchange from Koni or whatever. They're great. They're great people, and I'll be honest with you, in the 20 plus years I've been doing it, I think there's been one or two shocks involved. One of them got bent when a third axle got overextended. I didn't see how that was our fault, but so, you know, we just don't see the failures with Koni. We don't realize this either, but a lot of fighting vehicles in our military equipped with Koni shocks. Almost all the trains and train engines that you see, vehicles out there, are equipped with Koni, some sort of Koni shock. So they're a big agency, and they really know what they're doing. It's made in the Netherlands, I believe, but they've continued to make innovations. Their latest innovations is the Evo. This shock is larger in diameter than the shock from a couple years ago. So the FSD is what we sold many years ago. It's now the Evo, and again, it's just even that much better. Thanks for asking. Other shocks. Fire some other shock questions. There's a couple of manufacturers out there that have a electronic shock. I believe we're doing one on a F450 in a month, and we're going to try to put it on social media. Yes.
I don't know. What is the price tag on these shocks?
Well, I can't sell one. I can sell you four. In typical, it's about $1,800 parts and labor. It is an investment. It's expensive, absolutely, but it's one of those things that if I put the shocks on right there, by the time you got over here, you'd say, "Holy moly, what a difference!" And then you get out on the road and you say, "Absolutely, this is well worth it." And then you get in a little bit of tiny wind or some traffic or something, you go, "You know what? This is the greatest thing I did." I get rid of almost all the expansion joints. I put about an 80% difference in the, you hit a bridge abutment, I'm going to make a big difference. So immediately you're going to notice that you made the right choice.
That's the part that stops you. Expansion joint.
Our next popular upgrade, pickup truck, van, F550, Freightliner, Spartan, whatever you might have is a steering stabilizer. We can even get these down to a small pickup size. Be a different color, be a different mounting application, and a different setup, but this is the next most popular upgrade. Steering stabilizer from Safety Plus is unique and different. Safety Plus, if you're turned right, it brings you back to center. If you've turned left, it wants to bring you back to center. And what we do then is we set it up so where you can drive in, we make it so that on freeway speeds in a moderate wind, you should be able to drive your coach, your van, your pickup truck, your F550, whatever it might be. You should be able to drive it really with one hand. You should be able to keep it under control. This is a device that works. Its main intended job is to keep you from overcorrecting in case of a tire emergency. Is this a blowout protection and you're going to be protected in all cases and situations? Absolutely not. This is a device that we feel that the first thing that most of us are going to do in an emergency is probably going to put on our brake, and this device is going to help you keep your coach under control in a front tire emergency. We don't sell it as a device that's there for you in a tire blowout. We sell it as a device that makes your travels much easier, much more enjoyable. You're not going to get 600 miles, you're not going to get another 300 miles a day out of your travels, but those miles that you do travel, you'll be much more comfortable. Relieves tension, I guess you'd say. I enjoy it on all the vehicles we have. We're 1 ton and up, so I appreciate it. Any Safety Plus questions? we're fortunate and lucky we got Josh from the factory with us, so if you do go through the booth, he's there and he's full of information. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yep. Sorry. Right. Pickup truck and towing a trailer. Yeah, absolutely. There's a couple things you can do if you're not doing them already, and I'm happy to help. We don't sell weight distribution. We don't have in stock a weight distribution, but you can go to a weight distribution system between your truck and trailer, and that's going to tighten up your combo right there by itself. Even if you've got a small trailer, you can just use a smaller weight distribution connection, and then you can do a safety plus as well. And you're going to get rid of a lot of that tail wag. Can I do the same? Well, I can't put a weight distribution. The question is, can I put a weight distribution on a fifth wheel? And we can't. So I have a pickup truck that's wild and difficult steering, and I have a fifth wheel. The first thing I want to do is weigh everything and make sure we're good. If it's a newer tow vehicle, we can assume that we don't have anything worn out. But if it's an older vehicle, you've got to look for alignment characteristics and make some diagnosis and situations. Alignment for the tow vehicle makes a big difference. If we're keeping the truck under control, certainly we're going to be able to keep our fifth wheel under control. But I do have a safety plus for almost all pickups. And I do like it under that application. I really do. Good question. Thank you. Did I answer your question? Yeah. How many feet is your trailer? This couple, sorry. 21-foot trailer. You get a small weight distribution, and it's pretty basic, straightforward to hook up, and it'll tighten your combo up like you won't believe.
What is a weight?
So exaggerated if the truck and trailer or vehicles are sacked out in the middle. This is a device that's going to bring it up to center. Even in two vehicles that are a tow vehicle and a trailer that are even relatively close together, what we can do is we can tie the two together and get some of the weight from the trailer to get to the truck. Really, what you end up with you end up eliminating two vehicles walking away from you. You tighten them both up, and so it's almost monolithic, I guess.
That's what I thought you were talking about.
Yep. So let's tighten it up one notch. Yeah. Yep. And that thing is dangerous. I'm not going to mess with you. I don't care whose brand you have. I didn't smash this finger on it, but I've smashed plenty of fingers. There's a couple secret ways around it. Maybe some of you guys know the trick of jacking it up first. You could show him, and then letting it down, blah, blah, blah. He'll appreciate that sort of thing. You can also, yeah. So just go one more notch. It's going to make a heck of a difference for you. Yep. And I like that kind of stuff. That's how I like to help you guys. Fire away with any other questions. On our sheet, I'm going to try to follow along with upgrades, and I will talk about anything that's on this sheet, and I'll talk about anything that's on your mind. Koni Evo shocks, we talked about a safety plus steering stabilizer, adjustable drag link. If you have a Ford F53 Class A motorhome, you probably have a steering wheel, or someone that's not straight, their steering wheel's crooked. The Ford F53 drag link you cannot adjust. We have built and made a Ford F53 drag link. We can now adjust your steering and keep your steering wheel straight on your Ford F53. That's the gas Class A from Ford. 2000 or 2008 and newer. So super popular. It's the only gas chassis out there. Radius rod kit, same thing. Ford F53. That's a set of rods that keep the front suspension under control. Exaggerated on the F53, as you go down the road, the front springs are moving back and forth, and what we do is we stop that, and then that reduces all of the wheel travel. It makes it really nice to travel after you've done a radius rod kit on an F53. Anti-sway bars, I can do that on a Sprinter. I can do that on your Ford F53. I can do that on your Ford pickup. I can do it on your Chevy. I can do it on Workhorse. I can do it on Freightliner. We have anti-sway bars for almost everything. Anti-sway bars obviously help get rid of the left and right sway, and it makes a big difference. We call it Walmart wobble. We can get rid of almost all your Walmart wobble. Freightliner has a Freightliner straight axle. This is a Class A diesel pusher. The factory has a shaft and bushing steering bell crank, and this bell crank sticks, and it makes your steering stick. We giggle, we call it stiction. And it really is something that happens, and you don't know it because you're actually overpowering it. Once I put a replacement upgrade bell crank, your steering is much smoother on a diesel pusher from Freightliner. Yeah, my bell crank, I apologize I didn't bring it. My bell crank you can turn by hand. The stock one you can't turn at all. So you really notice it. Motion control unit, if you've got an RV with airbags, this is something that's considered a anti-sway bar for a coach with airbags. This is a unique little device that sits on top of the airbag, and we keep air in the airbag longer. This is if you have a coach with air suspension. Almost all Sprinter, F53, F550, the Workhorse, some of the Freightliners, we can put a track bar on the rear track bar on the rear axle. Track bar on the rear axle keeps the rear suspension traveling straight up and down. NASCAR calls it a Pannard bar. This keeps the rear end from swimming in the lane, and honestly, this makes a big difference in getting rid of this. We think a lot, and we started this way many years ago. We thought, oh my gosh, I have to deal with the front. I got to deal with my front end. This thing's swimming around. We forgot to think about what's going on in the back. So if I can quiet the back axle down and I can get it to go up and down versus left to right, we're actually going to make it easier for you to drive. We make our own Sprinter wheel spacer. If you know anybody that has a 1-ton or dually Sprinter and their wheels are set way inside on a larger RV box, we push those wheels out up to 3 inches. The result is a quieter ride and a more stable ride. I love it. It's one of the greatest upgrades we can do for a Sprinter. There's actually quite a few things you can do on a Sprinter if you know anybody that has one. Sumo springs. You guys have heard of Sumo springs. I like a Sumo spring. Sumo spring fits on almost everything, including a Sprinter. It's a airless airbag. This is a device. It's basically a rubber jounce. It's some of them are the size of a coffee can. Some of them are smaller. But this is the last 6 or 8 inches of your suspension, probably 3 or 4 inches of your suspension travel. It keeps it from going metal to metal. It's a stop. What Sumo is it makes them, they make them a little larger, and they make them of different durometers or thickness. And what this does is it starts to react sooner. So when you do go across a bridge, abutment, instead of it being so harsh, what it happens is most of it gets sucked up with a Coney shock, and then the rest of it gets sucked up by a Sumo spring. So a Sumo spring is a real good finisher. It's one of those things you'll notice if you've got a lot of railroad tracks in your travel, a lot of harsh areas, some bad roads. California's known for them, Louisiana's known for them. But if you get in those situations, definitely a Sumo spring along with Coneys are going to help you out. And Sumo's available for a lot of different options. They're popular, and a lot of them are DIY. You guys can do them yourself. That's why I like them. If you've got a diesel pusher and you want some more power, we use the PDI Performance Diesel Tuner. It's the only one that's legal, it's the only one that works, and we have excellent luck with it. We're getting about 300 foot-pounds of torque on average, and then you end up with another set of gauges plus a device that will help you identify a check engine code and clear it if you need to. And this is for a diesel pusher. For all of us, I've fallen in love with my Starlink Mini. I'm sure some of you. And so first thing I did was slam the cord in the door, because that's where I had it run. And I asked my guys, I go, what are we doing here? And they said, well, we have a mount. They said, didn't they tell? I said, no. So we mount them on the roof, and we run your cord in, and we bring it power. So now you don't have to do like I do and run it outside and run over your cord or hurt your cord. It's one of the most popular upgrades we're doing, and it makes it so you can use your Starlink all the time. I really enjoy it. I showed the guys a 12 volt or a DC option as well, and we're looking into that, so you can use it without generator, without inverter, without being plugged into shore power. So I like that as well. And I hope you guys have. I've had real good luck with my little Mini. It's been effective. Yeah. Well, you got to get the app going. We have a 5.5 gallon freshwater pump, and this is something that gives you more pressure and more volume. If you're into conservate, you're trying to dry camp, I think what you'll notice is that you'll probably finish your shower quicker. I love the increase. It's about a 1 gallon per minute increase on the pump. So it's something that we're upgrading coaches all the time. We talked briefly about lithium batteries. I think, and I can see that a lot of you are using solar generators, which is nothing more than a lithium battery with an inverter and a computer and Bluetooth and all that magic. I love it. It's a great idea, and I think it fits and works in what we're doing with motorhomes. A lot of our batteries that we do for your house side are still AGM, absorbed glass mat. The price point is kind of sort of there. I think those that are seeing that they love their vehicle, their van, their C-Class, their F-53, their Class A, whatever it might be, I think they're saying, hey, you know what, I'm going to keep this thing and let's put some lithium batteries in it. If you're not going to keep the coach, I don't think lithium batteries is a smart thing to do if it needs batteries. It's something that you ought to do if you're into dry camping and you want to stay alive, or you've got some durable equipment on board that you want to keep going overnight, a CPAP or something of that nature. When we do tires, we use dually valves. I get rid of your valve stem extensions. So if you have dual rear wheels, you probably have a flexible extension. That flexible extension leaks, and it leaks where it connects to the inner valve stem, and it leaks through the little metal cord. This is the inner valve stem. When we mount your tire, we put this in it, and then we form it so it comes out of the outside dual so that you have access to it. And you have access to about that much of it. You can put your TPMS monitor on it. You can put your gauge on it now, easy. This is a fixed valve stem. This doesn't move. It doesn't squirm away from you. It allows you an accurate checking when you check it. There's not a plastic tube in here that runs the length of it. This is a valve core. This is just the 10-inch long version of your inner valve stem. The reason that we have tire failures in the rear is because that flexible valve stem starts to leak and we don't know it. We don't trust our TPMS, or we're not using a TPMS, or we've always done this way where it's a very infrequent use of the coach, but all it takes is that inner dual to lose a little bit of air before it gets too hot, and then it comes apart, and then it becomes a situation. We get away from that by using dually valves and nitrogen. When I do your tires at my shop and here in Quartzsite, we use pure nitrogen. And the reason I do is because these tires are expensive, and if we talk to Goodyear or Michelin or Toyo, they tell us do not contaminate our tire. And what's in my compressor is water, oil, rust. So I don't use my compressor for your tires. I use pure nitrogen. Now, the side benefit is if I put 100 PSI in it here at Quartzsite, January 2026, January 2027, without any other issues, you're going to have 100 PSI in those tires. It's uncanny, it's crazy, it's nuts. It gets rid of a ton of headaches related to tires. If you get a puncture, you get a failure, fix it. Put compressed air in it, go about your stuff, come back here to Quartzsite, have us flush it 3 times, we'll get you back up to 97% and above, and away you go. And or find a good service center. I think if your service center that you've trusted for your RV repairs, I think if you have a question about them, I think one of the ways you can test them is to ask someone there that's important, say, hey, what's your opinion on nitrogen for tires in motorhomes and Class C's and F-Series and E-Series? And if they say it's a bunch of baloney and a bunch of malarkey, you might want to start thinking about another service center if you've got an option. You need someone that has an open mind. The tires we're selling, 6 of them. It's mounted, balanced, It's $4,500, $5,500. You know, these things are almost $1,000 a tire when we get done with them for the larger ones. And we need to protect that. We need to really do everything we possibly can. I think you guys, as a consumer inside of a travel industry, I think we've all come to agreement that tires should be addressed somewhere between 6 and 8 years on larger RVs, and then whatever our mileage is on maybe a pickup truck or a van, we need to pay attention to not only the date of the tire, but probably some tread depth. The problem with larger RV tires is we never wear the tread out. We're always wearing the time out. So we've been doing we've run across a couple of 10-year tires over here in the service center, and I feel grateful that the customer trusted us enough to be able to get their tire off and get them some new tires. The problem with Michelin says, hey, our tire's good of defects for 10 years, and they are. So in the Michelin concept, it's a good tire, and you shouldn't have any issues. But boy, all you got to do is run one low, or have a situation with something, and none of it, never in any ever situation, is it worth it to say, hey, let's just get one more trip out of these old tires. Let's see if we can make it. That's never good in a RV travel situation, in our opinion. That's why we want to protect them with nitrogen and dually valves. Questions? Yes. That's a great question. His question is, there's a device out there called the equalizer, and one's in the form of a cat's eye, and the other one is, I think, a different color. But these make sure that the inner dual and outer dual always have the same amount of tire pressure in them. So both cat's eye and the other one his question is, tire equalizers, do they have a failure device inside of them, aka check valve, to keep, if you lose a hose from an inner or an outer dually, can you keep the other tire from sucking down? And the answer is both of those, to my knowledge, have check valves in them. I don't think you could put them, the cat's eye is popular on a commercial application because it's not attractive, and you can mount it to a raw hub. And the driver can see it in an instant, and I know that it's approved for commercial use, so I doubt without a check valve it wouldn't be allowed. 2 questions. He has 2 questions, and one, he was in the military and they lowered their inner dual 5 pounds to be able to go over a crown in the road. I get it. There's two headaches to RVing: batteries and tires. So figure out, slice it however you want. So now if I have to add another headache and I got to lower my inner dual, it ain't happening. So I get it, but it ain't happening in RV stuff. So I don't do it. I don't tell my customers to do it. I would not suggest that they count on their military experience for this particular situation. I see zero benefit in it. I see just nothing but a pain in the ass and a headache. What was your second question? Recaps, absolutely not. Do not put a recap on anything that you drive in any situation, in any case, out here whatsoever. Recaps only belong on a commercial vehicle, and they need to be part of a program that gets checked on a regular basis. So they have zero use in what you're doing here. Even a good tire, this is what happens. We lose an inside dual due to a bad flexible valve stem. We all saw that. Well, it comes apart, and this giant thing full of steel starts destroying the inside of your coach. It starts taking bathrooms with it, and heaters, and propane fittings, and it's just unfreaking believable. $30, $40, $50, $60,000 worth of damage, to the point where it's like, hey, it's ruined my RV and I don't want it anymore. So absolutely not. Don't even consider, and don't even discuss with anybody their desire to put a retread on a vehicle that they're using for recreational travel. And they're a danger to you on the road as well. Not just themselves, but if you've got someone that's traveling with something they shouldn't, then they're a danger. So sorry. The other thing is when you help and work with your little service center, hopefully your service center is thoughtful and kind, and they do things like we built an RV park for you. So if you're traveling, you can come in and stay with us. It's only for my customers. I don't rent it out. I've got about 15 spaces. We take excellent care of you. But if you come across a situation where they've treated you well, help them out. Rate them. Get on Google Places or figure out what their thing is and say, hey, I had a good experience with these people. If they're a big corporation and they didn't help you or whatever, then go after them. But if they screwed up as a small business, like a brother and sister, like I am with my sister, and we are not perfect. We have our issues, but give them a chance. Before you lambaste us tomorrow morning and try to give away negative stars just because we didn't answer your phone call, give us a shot. Give us a shot to fix it. And that's for all of your little RV businesses that are moms and pops. We had 2 people go after us. They acted like they were 2 separate customers. They were actually partners, and it's just absolutely sickening. It's defamatory, and it hurt Karen and my feelings, but it's just totally unnecessary. This person showed up early, and we hadn't finished processing the coach and getting it ready for them to take it. And the first thing they did at 6 a.m. in the morning, start cussing at us. And I'm like, God, first time with us, drove in all the way in from Tucson because they couldn't find a service center. Now I know why. They pissed everybody off from Redlands to Tucson. And we just had one thing to finish, or get taken care of, and it just exploded. And we tried to help them, and anyway, just don't do that to your small business. That's my other little soapbox. What others did you guys see anything in here you want to discuss? You've got a shot at a guy that owns a business. You can hammer on me, but I want to give you as much inside information as I can. Anybody having a chronic problem with an RV that we can help with? Yeah.
Okay, I was curious about your Starlink installation. Was that a permanent mount? Because sometimes these Starlink receivers, they need to be put outside away from the trees.
Great question. Starlink Mini is the one that I'm having excellent luck with. Yes, it's a permanent mount, and I know that it needs to be oriented, but I think that we can get away with it by the fact that it picks up in almost every position that I've put it on the ground. And if needed, maybe we could remember what it needs, and we could sort of park our coach that way. You know what I mean? If we're dry camping.
Just stay away from the trees.
Stay away. Well, yeah, unfortunately. And I all my dry camping is out in the desert, so I'm like, I don't get it until you go up to the forest, and I understand. You probably could get it to where I'm sure you can remove it out of there. It is a fixed mount. I just like it so you don't have to run the wire out the window. That's why I like it. What other? Yes. 3 questions. Pricing. I don't have it in front of me. That's if we're doing shocks and you want to do the 2 rear shocks, that's Coney pricing for a big giant diesel pusher. Fire away. Issues. Somebody have an aqua hot issue or a water heater. Yep. Fire away. A sway bar where you tighten the tension on the pickup truck? No. Yeah. I know what you are. You've got the bar that slides into tighten the heck out of it. Absolutely. There's your other line of defense. Tighten up your equalizer and then tighten the heck out of that. That's a sway control for between the pickup truck and the trailer. Absolutely. I'm glad we were able to help you. That'll make a big difference. What other questions? Fire away, you guys. I won't make fun of you. I'll make fun of myself. Yep.
Does nitrogen change with temperature?
Great question. Why does nitrogen not change with temperature? And the reason why is because nitrogen has no moisture in it. So when we're driving in our vehicle today that has compressed air in it, and I get 15 minutes down the road, if we have a device that can read temperature, most of our automobiles don't, but some TPMSs do, we're going to see a significant rise in temperature just due to friction heating up the water and then the water expanding. So since I've eliminated water with nitrogen, my tire heat up is going to be minimal. I mean, you might see a 5 or 6 degree rise instead of 30 and 40. And imagine going from 100 psi to 130 psi. You know, just imagine what that